Hello, welcome to another Becoming a Modern Man video. It's Vampire Week on Pure MTGO, and we are playing vampires in Modern. So let's get underway. We have won the roll, so let's get things going. Okay, so here's our opener. We've got a Ivyvile, a Highborn, and a Blood Artist. Not the most exciting of hands, but at the same time, it's got some decent plays. Hopefully we'll draw into some more spells. It's a little bit land heavy for a 20-land deck, but happy to roll with it. Got these off with a bop. Just going to run out my Highborn. Opponent's going to drop a Tide Hollowskuller, which is really unfortunate. Going to take our Blood Artist, and we've only drawn land so far, and draw another one, which is pretty annoying. Attack with my Highborn. Put the opponent down to 16, and drops a Courser of Kruphix into a Forbidding Watchtower, reeling a Nameless Inversion on top. So yeah, my opponent's not the most competitive of decks, but it was a fun matchup, so this is what I'm going to bring you. I'll just close my window because it's making a bit of noise in the background, so just like... Okay, sorry about that. Right, so yeah, my opponent plays a Courser of Kruphix, and things are not looking too great for us. Draw a second Highborn, which is nice, but not really going to help us too much here. Opponent drops a Sacred Foundry, plays a Knight of Reliquary. I forget that he can cast the Nameless Inversion off the bop, and so that pretty much wraps things up. We're not going to be able to win here, so I concede. So yeah, it didn't go too well for us. Opponent overwhelmed us fairly quickly, and our hand just wasn't too exciting, especially after drawing swamp after swamp. So let's go on to game 2, see if we can do a little bit better. So sounds decent. Great, but we've got a nice little curve. We've got Viscera Seer into Blood Artist into Kicked Gatekeeper, which seems pretty good. So we'll just lead off with a Seer. One plays Bop. Drawn to Victim of Night, which I'm just going to use to kill off the Bop. Don't really want him ramping, so seems good. Also means this Gatekeeper is going to be a lot better next turn. One plays Squadron Hawk, which isn't the thing we ideally want to be using Gatekeeper on, but we'll see what happens. Draw Nighthawk, which I figure I'd rather play out than play out the Gatekeeper. Opponent plays a Sculler, taking our Blood Artist, which allows us to keep the Gatekeeper. Draw another Gatekeeper, which is nice. Play out my Gatekeeper, kill off his Hawk, and attack for 2 in the air with my Nighthawk. Could have attacked first, but I don't think he's blocking, knowing that we've got the Gatekeeper, so don't think it makes any difference there really. One plays a Hero Blade Hold, which is a little scary, but works out pretty well for us, seeing as though we have our second Gatekeeper here, so we're going to be able to get our Blood Artist back probably, and we can always block the Hero with our Vampire Nighthawk, or double block it with the Gatekeepers, and that'll work out quite nicely with the Blood Artist coming back, as we'll gain a bit of life and cause our opponent a bit of pain with those trades. I'm just going to deal 2 damage in the air, pass the turn, plan to double block with the Gatekeeper. One plays Lingering Souls, and then flashes it back, which again is fine by me. Lots of creatures in the graveyard means this Blood Artist. The Inquisition, opponent's got 3 Squadron Hawks and a Courser. He actually kept casting the Courser, but I don't really feel like getting rid of any of these Squadron Hawks does a great deal for us, so just going to drop the Courser out of his hand. Attacks with all his guys, which isn't too bad for us. I'm going to double block the Gatekeeper, the Hero, and one of the Spirit tokens with the Vampire Nighthawk. I'm going to gain 2 off the Nighthawk, and then as 3 creatures died, I'm going to be able to drain my opponent for 3 and go up to 19. So it works out pretty nicely for me, to be honest. Opponent drops a couple of Squadron Hawks out of his hand, and still feeling pretty good. We've got Viscera Seer, so in theory we can actually drain our opponent for 4 by just sacking all our guys. Actually it'd have to be 3 I suppose, because Viscera Seer wouldn't be able to sack itself before it could sack the Bloodice. But yeah, so we're fairly close to a win. Draw Thoughtseize. I'm going to take the last Squadron Hawk, not that it's super relevant. Yeah, maybe I should have just kept on to the hold of the Thoughtseize, but I imagine he's just going to play out anything he top decks, so maybe getting the Hawk was the best value we could get there. Attacks with Treetop, which is fine, but we don't really want to keep getting hit. So I'm going to start attacking. I probably should have started attacking earlier, but after him starting to get aggro with the Treetop, I figured this was possibly the better way to go. He loses a lot of life if he triple blocks my Vampire, so this works out pretty nicely for us. I'm going to put him down to 4. And our opponent can see seeing the writing on the wall. Basically, it's going to be very difficult for him to get out of this situation. So yeah, we'll manage to win game 2 and take it to a game 3. So here's our game 3. I actually have Sword in here. I changed one of the Drowning Sorrows when I was messing around with the deck to a Sword, and brought it in here because it seemed quite good against his Squadron Hawks and white creature tokens. Otherwise his hand's pretty nice. See Bloodghast and Inquisition as well, so all good stuff. Get an Inquisition. See, our opponent's got Nameless Inversion and Squadron Hawk. Very happy to get rid of that Squadron Hawk, because it turns into 3 extra cards for our opponent. So that works out nicely for us. Obviously, just got to be Inversion. So our opponent doesn't really have anything to do on his next turn. I run out Bloodghast. Turns out we drew a Path, which is a little unfortunate, but gives us an extra land, which is nice for us. And our opponent is activate his Stirring Wildwood and attack the 3, which is fine. Can use Gatekeeper to kill off the Bop and run out of Viscera Seer as well. And Thoughtseize, bond with an Abrupt Decay on my Gatekeeper, which would obviously get my Scries in, and then a Nameless Inversion, leaving just a land. I believe it's Godless Shrine in his hand. But I'm fine with that really. He's used up all his cards in his hand, and I've still got quite plenty of gas here. Play Nighthawk into a Cluster of Highborn. He's going to activate his Wildwood, and they're going to trade, but I'm fairly happy with that. I'm going to get the drain on it from the Highborn, and means he doesn't have a Stirring Wildwood anymore. So Captivating Vampire, tap 3. But still doesn't have much going for him. Plays a Treefolk Harbinger, getting a Crib Swap. Oddly, I thought he might get a Doran or something, but yeah, Crib Swap's not too concerning. In fact, the Changeling it's going to give us is going to get a considerable amount of pumps off these Captivating Vampires, so it seems pretty nice for us. I'll put him down to 8. On our upkeep, he's going to Crib Swap the Cluster Highborn just to prevent us being able to kill him just straight there, but going to be able to play the Sword and hook it up. Just gets accidentally hook it up to the Changeling, that Shapeshifter that can't attack. Should have put on one of these guys, but either way we win there, I believe. Pretty far ahead at that point. So yeah. So yeah, that was actually not a super competitive deck, but at the same time our deck is not super competitive either, so it was a fun matchup, and thought it was worth showing.